Hi, Alyssa.
Hey, Alyssa.
How are you? It's amazing to meet you both. I'm a huge fan of both of your work.
Thank
So this
you.
is super cool. As you can see, I'm a big nerd. I have a lot more over there. So I did want to ask you, you both have a huge followings and fandoms that love you from all of the different, shows and movies you're in. Has there ever been a challenge or moment in your career that helped you grow as an actor?
Oh, yeah, a number of them, I think.
Yeah. Which one is appropriate to say on camera?
I
Um,
would
oh,
say,
goodness.
but like every rejection of stuff that I would have really liked to be a part of that I didn't really ever end up getting to be a part of is always a really incredible growing moment.
Yeah.
And it's one thing you take with you, and something I always learned and got better at understanding, even though it's a tough pill to swallow, is that it rarely has anything to do with what you've given. It rarely has anything to do with what you're doing, your choices.
Yeah.
Usually, because if you get to a point where like you're like, oh, there's a callback and another, and you're close, it means you've done the right things. And then ultimately, when you get to that
Right.
kind of crossroad there, the decision making is so it's there's really nothing you can do, and you got to be okay with like giving your all and knowing that like you did your best, even though you didn't get the outcome you wanted. And I would usually leave feeling pretty satisfied. Despite there are a few that I'm like, oh, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever is supposed to come to you comes to you.
You said it best. Damn, I'd have nothing else to add there.
Oh, well, thanks. Oh, well, thanks.
I mean, I feel like that's great advice in anything you approach in life.
Mm.
And I think, everyone will appreciate that because no matter what you do, you always have to like get back up and keep going.
Yeah, you
Now, my
take.
second question is, sorry if I'm rushing through these,
No,
this
please, you
is
got
very
5 minutes.
limited.
Okay.
If you could take one magical item or gadget from any of the show of the movies you've worked on and bring it into Lego Star Wars, what would it
Oh,
be?
Wow.
that's good. That's good.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
really good.
Hmm.
Oh man, it's hard because you go first because you get better gadgets from yours than I do. I do.
I guess so. I mean, like the web swingers would be great from like
Yeah,
Spider-Man. But like, oh, well, no, we use the Force, so we don't have to use wands or anything like that. But
yeah.
um, uh,
Now, do you get the entire? Does he get all of the MCU? Does he get
do
everything
I
from
get
the
all of the
MCU?
MCU?
Does he get the MCU or does he just get the ones he was
Yeah,
in?
you get the MCU.
Oh, dude, you got this on
Mjolnir.
lock.
Mjolnir.
Yeah, you're picking Mjolnir of the Infinity Stones. What are you doing?
Well, just because I don't want to break the universe.
You
We
don't
already
have to.
have.
That's up to you. You can
Well,
do whatever you want.
I
You don't
mean,
have
we
to
already
break the
have the Force
universe.
hold.
Right. You have the Force hold.
No, you know what it would be? It would be the time gadgets from like the Loki series.
Great. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. See, mine, I don't know if there's any particularly very cool gadget because it's just other people that have superpowers. So I guess I'll bring 11 with me because she's a pal. Does that count? Or is that like, because that's a person. That's not like,
It's gold. It's gold.
great. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to bring, I think, yeah, I think I'll bring her.
Great. Which, by the
Okay.
Cool.
way, she just uses the Force.
But yeah, and it drains her more than it drains other Jedi Knights. But she also's got some other crazy weird shit. Like there's like it's like a different type of like telekinesis because she can. But also Jedi do like a weird little meditative like prediction thing too.
Yeah.
So dude, she's just like a Jedi with nosebleeds.
Oh, oh my God. I feel like this could be a whole other
This is
show in
the whole
itself.
show in itself.
We're over here building. Final
uh,
question for you both. Gaten, for you, being a part of Stranger Things for so long and it being a big part of your life, how has it shaped you, like personally, professionally, and how do you think fans will feel after watching this final season? And then I'll quickly ask your final question, Tony, is if Doctor Strange hadn't erased Peter Parker's memory, where do you think Flash Thompson would be in the MCU today? So that's my final
those are
question.
the two craziest questions ever. They're the dude. That's such a funny back to back. I'm obsessed with it. And please, I will go so quickly.
Thank
Um,
you.
Stranger Things is my favorite thing I've ever been a part of in my entire life. I'm so honored to have done it for as long as I have. It has shaped my career and my life in ways that in more ways than it hasn't. And it's the greatest honor of my life. And I love it very much. I'm very excited for people to see it. Tony, please answer this question.
I have
I
to be
love
careful
this so
here.
much. This
I
is so
have to be
good.
really, really
I
careful.
love this so much.
I have
I
to be
love
careful
this so
here.
much. This
I
is so
have to
good.
be really, really
I
careful.
love this so much.
Okay, okay. I think he'd be getting rides to school on Spider-Man's back. because he still owes him in the third movie, if you remember. He said, "I'll
That's
tell you
true.
where the chancellor is or whatever, but you have to like swing me to school for like a week." So I
I
think there's
love it.
a week of
Yeah,
him being
just a week of
Spider-Man,
of back swinging.
of back swinging, and maybe like I think he's princess carried. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's
He's
gotta
princess.
be like oh,
Yeah,
like cradled in one arm.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
he needs a
exactly.
swinging arm.
Yeah. And then kind of like he's the heroine for a second.
You don't want to be like the Yoda backpack.
I think that's what he would prefer, but I
Yeah,
think like practically,
Flash. You want? Yeah.
Spider-Man's like, just shut up, come on.
Come on. Yeah, it's cradled.
This has been so fun. I am sorry for like being so fast, but I really
No,
No, it's you
hey,
gotta do what you gotta do.
listen, you
I
gotta
can
do
be
what's
here all
right.
day, but I've run out of time. So hopefully we run into each other again and we can nerd out on all things.
Yeah, that
This whole
sounds
entire
good.
fandom with
Stay
everything.
Love
golden.
to.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye,
Amazing.
Alyssa. Thank you.
Bye. So, you know, the show has a fandom, both of the show, both of Star Wars, both of Lego. What did you want to bring this time around that you didn't kind of have in the previous one? And what are some things, Easter eggs that you can tease without spoiling anything?
I mean, I think one of the things we were excited about, and like when you approach it, any sequel, you've got to think of ways to go bigger or different, or take a different angle, or blow things out in an unexpected way. And if the first series was a celebration of Lego Star Wars, which is what we set out to do, like how do we have even more of a celebration? And so that got us thinking of, well, what are all the ends of the Lego Star Wars universe that have not been explored yet, or that we haven't seen come to life? How can we make it come to life? Things like, the giant brick built Chewbacca, brick built characters, or brickheads like Ahsoka, where these are all part of what makes Lego Star Wars awesome, but we've not seen it come to life before. And so that was sort of one of our guiding principles.
And as far as Easter eggs, I think in that fourth episode, especially, we really, as a group, said, let's try to get as many characters from across as many different kinds of Star Wars media as we possibly can. And I don't know if we got everyone or every show or movie, but we did our best. And there's a lot of deep cuts in there that I think people will get excited to try to.
No, I think the fans will be very happy and excited. No, I kind of want to touch on your first memories with either Lego or Star Wars or both. What was a one moment you have from whether it be the past or a kid, and then how would that child feel looking at the work you've done now?
Well, I mean, for me, like Lego and Star Wars have been such a big part of my life, like as far back as I can remember. Like I was a kid before there were actually Star Wars Lego sets. I was using, generic Lego to be Star Wars characters and acting it out before I even could, and then when there were Lego Star Wars sets, I was getting those as a teenager, and it's been with me for my whole life. And so to be able to create this show where that sense of play and excitement and making Star Wars your own, which you can do with Lego in a way that you can't with a lot of other things, is like to make that come to life in the show has been a dream come true. And I feel the same sense that I felt as a kid playing with my Lego. Like it's really been awesome.
For me, it's my brother is a little bit older than I am, so I was born in 1983, so I inherited a lot of his Kenner action figures for Star Wars, and my earliest memories actually are playing with those toys. So I always associated Star Wars in a very kind of deep way with this tactile sensation of play, of really holding something in your hand and making your own adventures. And so the fact that our careers have led us to this point where we get to replicate that feeling that we had as kids is beyond anything that I ever thought was possible. And it really is a dream come true.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, kind of diving a little bit deeper, with Lego, we connect things together. The Star Wars stories are always connecting things together. Is there anything that you feel more connected to, being a part of this?
I mean, yeah, like to actually be connected to this great legacy in both Star Wars and Lego. where this is such important stories to us and to so many people out there, and for us to have like carved our own little corner of the universe and created new characters that people seem to love, as much as they love classic characters. And um, it's just, yeah, it feels really nice to be connected to the legacy of everything that came before.
Yeah, I think that for me, part of that connection comes from actually having been given the opportunity to create some original characters in the Star Wars galaxy. And that was not something that I thought was in the cards for us necessarily. It was like a dream. It was an aspirational thing. But the fact that we have these incredible actors playing these characters that we actually created, that they're in Lego sets, that that we have them all displayed here. And yeah, there's of course there's Darth Vader and Rey, but there's also Sig and Dev and Servo and Yessi and Jedi Bob, who we didn't create, but I think that we kind of defined as a character, along with Bobby, who is the heart and soul of the whole show. But so I think the part that makes me feel most connected is Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy were my kids' first experience with watching any Star Wars. And I think that there are probably other kids out there like that who maybe when they grow up are going to say, when I was young, the first Star Wars I ever watched was this, and I love these characters, and those are characters that we actually got to create and make a part of a small part of the fabric of Star Wars, and that means everything to me.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's like it's standing the test of time, and you get to add your input to something that has such a large legacy, and seeing it come to life and be part of many more generations is super awesome. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. I have